So this is her left lower lobe.
That's what you've done before, right?
Exactly. We've done this before, and this was almost a complete occlusion beforehand. And there's still a substantial amount of disease here. You see how it sort of has a square taper to it almost, and these vessels sort of come off. This is another vessel, A9, that we previously treated, which looks really, really good now. Let me see if these keyboards work. So we were able to wire through all three of those branches that came off of that. And then, so now we're in this sort of middle branch. So we did this one, and then we ultimately went up to what was almost a 5mm balloon. So that's...
Well, that's even good, right? Just the fact that you're able to go a little larger into
exactly. So,
artery. So
you see this is sort of the final shot. So we still had a gradient, and we still had this area of webbing or banding there. We talked about the idea of using something more aggressive, but I think, you know, in the name of safety and not doing harm, since we know we're going to have the ability to come back and do more, I think we're going to let it be and see what happens and how it remodels. So that was what we did a lot, and spent a lot of time working on. So those three segments. This is the superior segment of the left lower lobe, so it's up high, so it looks obviously much higher. It's sort of in the back, even though we're looking at it front to back. And so the wires in this segment, where there's sort of one balloon inflation right there, another one in the center branch, and then through this more lateral branch, there's a lot more disease. And that's, you know, the wire trouble crossing ultimately through. And so if you compare, let's see, it was not a great final shot, but that shot to that shot, you see how hazy this is in there, and it's much better after that wire's there. The other thing, which so now we're now in the upper lobe. This is probably A2, the posterior upper lobe vessel. So you sort of see how the catheter's here, and the contrast just sort of stops here, and these little branches running off of that vessel. And again, there's a wire through. Suddenly you've got, even without a whole lot of dilation, you've got a lot more flow. You sort of see this lights up a little bit more. There's a balloon through the other segment. Balloon through the middle, here we go. And here's a final shot. So suddenly you've gone from that sort of stump. Now you at least have
what's all this like drippage down here? Is that part of it too?
That's just the contrast sort of escaping backwards, through that a segment, so it's sort of reflux. But if you compare that appearance to, so let's just so you have a direct, easy comparison. So if you compare this one there to this one here, you suddenly have three segments that are
amazing.
Off. So
like totally opened up. As it goes through right there, what's those little like bright dots, like darker areas in there that are popping up?
These things, you know, so anything that's dark is usually, you know, so you sort of see how like it's dark here. All that means usually is that there's overlying periods of contrast. So if you imagine it, you know, if you were to look at the tube of contrast this way, it would look really dark because you've got a lot more dense contrast. Whereas if you look at the tube this way, you know, you only have the depth of the tube. So it's much less. So that most of those little dots and you know these dark areas here are overlying vessels or vessels that are heading, you know, away from the field of use. You're getting overlapping contrast, and then when you're and all the small things are all the little blood vessels that are filling. And then you can sort of see towards the end, you see the venous drainage. So right here, you see that thing that lights up that sort of drains down here. Behind it, that's the vein draining out from the lungs.
So that is the vein draining right here. This is, or is that the contrast?
So
right here. That's wild. Just to see.
That's still in the artery, and then you see this. This is the vein right behind it. So see that? See this shape here? So this fills from that. So that's the vein. So here's the artery again, right there. And then it goes through the capillary bed. And then drains into that vein, and then the image ends. And
so what were my pressures?
Pressures were marginally better than they were last week. So the mean was around 40. The PA pressures, mean was around 40. The top number is around 70. But your output was still good. It was better than it was beforehand. So I think, you know, they're the best pressures we've measured for you so far.
Ever,
Yay! Yes. I would. I don't want to pop the champagne bottle yet.
I
think we have
know.
work to do. But I think so. Good news is that there was plenty of stuff for us to treat in this session. Good news is there is plenty more for us to do, and that gives us room to be very hopeful that from where you are right now, symptomatically, with your pressures, with the amount of medicines you're on, we still have room to really have a significant impact.
That's awesome.
And that's what we want. So, and we did it without complication.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Keeping
I
you
know.
safe.
You are. Yeah. Oh,
Show
wow.
code SCVC ED.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Not you.
No.
Thank
Not me
you.
anyways, yeah.
You mean to get home and get dinner.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Yeah. All right. Good. All right. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm sure Tal will be by earlier than I will be. Actually,
Okay.
no, she won't be because I'll be here doing another